Hey, welcome to the Content Queue. Forgot the name of the show for the third week in a row. I'm Brian.
I am Jake Mosher.
I am Zack Hohenstein.
And we're back. This is the fourth episode of the show. Only the second time we've all been in the room like this, right?
No, third time.
Third time?
Megan was just in addition to
Right,
us.
right. Megan was there. Life's a blur sometimes. We're back from spring break. Nothing happened for me at all. I was sick and just kind of wanted to die.
Everyone's getting sick.
Yeah, how about you, Zach?
See, over spring break, I made some money, went and clocked in a few shifts at the old office. And, well, actually, one interesting thing, I watched the entire Phase 1 of the MCU.
Did you do this at work?
Part of my 3-phase plan before Endgame comes out.
Yeah, you're writing an article or several articles.
I'm going to plug this in. Yeah,
of
I
course,
am eventually going to release an article ranking every MCU movie before Endgame comes out. And I wanted to make sure, as a journalist, I do my due diligence and rewatch all of them so they're fresh in my mind.
Which one's your favorite so far? Just out of Phase 1.
Oh,
Just like
wouldn't that spoil
Pulse.
the surprise?
What's your least favorite?
My least favorite, Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
I do like all of them, though, but Incredible Hulk is the one I like the least.
I got 2 kills, man. Jake, what did you do this spring break?
And not much until the last weekend of spring break. I went to Kansas City for the Kind of Funny meet and greet. And I didn't go to the Comic-Con panel because I was dumb and was like, I don't want to spend money. And then by the time I decided, the price went up. But I did go to the meet and greet at Flying Saucer, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was the most people at a meet and greet so far, upwards of a little above 300 people. Absolutely packed. They were as genuine and nice as I met them. I met Greg and Tim when they were in Columbia, but this time Nick, Andy, and Kevin were also there. They're all awesome people, and all the best friend community is also very fun. So it's a good time. All
right. Yeah, we got like a 66% kind of funny cares about him ratio on this show.
Yeah.
So I'd say that was. Are you guys having a rough week? I just want to fucking die, man.
This week hasn't been honestly as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I knew I was coming back to have a decent amount of assignments, but it's been fine. I mean, coming back from spring break where I didn't do shit, this has definitely been a nice little get back into it week, but it's fine. It's definitely not good.
Yeah, honestly, it could have been better, but I'm keeping my spirits high because I know better things are to come. You know, I'm going back to St. Louis this weekend because of a Game of Thrones trivia night for charity, and I am absolutely ready to just mop the floor with these fake fans, all in the name of a good cause.
Is that why you're doing it? You're just going in to get out of a goddamn package?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. The possibility that I could be receiving a package to perform for E23 is usually anxiety-inducing. So to withdraw that anxiety from my life is always a positive.
Speaking of dread, imminent doom, and a lot of anxiety, I saw Hereditary over spring break.
Those are all fitting words to describe that movie.
And it also filled me with dread. I watched it with my girlfriend Madison, and she didn't like it.
Was it the decapitation?
Are you in spoilers? Can we do spoilers because we're far enough out?
I mean, we came out in 2011.
Yeah, we're gonna be spoiler. It's gonna be spoiler city on this podcast for Hereditary. So if you haven't seen this masterpiece yet, I'd suggest
I'm
skip
tweeting
ahead.
out Endgame spoilers the second I leave the theater.
So back to Hereditary. Is it the car scene that fucked you up? Because
that was bad.
It's one of it's scary in such a other way, like real life, like that you
could put yourself in that position, and that's what was so terrifying.
Looking at the brother's face when he just stares, it looks like he's lost every soul and ounce of emotion he has in his body. He died basically, and it's terrifying.
All right, so for anyone who doesn't care about spoilers and you're wondering what we were talking about because you haven't seen it, the main son of the film is driving his sister back to the hospital because she had an allergic reaction at a party, and she cannot breathe because her throat is closing up, so she sticks her head out of the window.
Can't blame anyone but her, though.
Yeah.
She should have taken it.
I don't know. There might be some blame to push around.
Other blame.
But there's something in the middle of the street. He swerves. Wrong place at the wrong time to the 90 millionth degree. Her head is out the window because she's trying to get air.
Yeah.
And as he swerves, there's a telephone pole on the
cursed
side of the
telephone
road.
pole.
And her head gets decapitated off of it. And the brother just sits there knowing what happened. He doesn't know what to do. So he just sits in his car motionless for like 30 seconds before he just drives home.
And goes to bed.
Just goes to bed.
It's,
doesn't tell his parents until the mom goes into the car the next morning to find the body.
Yeah.
What's so effective about the scene is they don't show the decapitation for like, what is it? 4 or 5 minutes, and then they show the head for like 5 seconds.
With maggots and flies.
It's so effective.
I don't think they should have showed the head.
I honestly, I mean, it's weird. I love it when movies aren't afraid to show the gore.
When is a movie afraid to show gore? It's
If
just
you
like
use it
goofy at some
sparingly,
point.
it's
It's like,
effective.
oh, her nose is
As
out
long
the
as it's
back
not
of her
gratuitous.
head.
Anything that's not gratuitous, and it definitely wasn't gratuitous in Hereditary, I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
not like that 20-second scene where someone's just trying to cut their head off with like a
Oh my
piano
God.
wire. That movie, I liked it a lot. Madison, she didn't because she wanted a more traditional horror film. Because this is probably the one time I was ever going to watch a horror film with her. I really liked the movie.
It's the cinematography is beautiful, but my favorite thing about it is just it's for the first 2/3 of the movie. It's a horror film where the horrors are real life.
Yeah.
Like it's not really what ends up being the twist in the end. It's just the horrors of losing a child, losing a family member, and everything that results from that is terrifying.
And the worst part about it is not only do you lose someone in your family, within the brother's case, you are to blame.
Yeah.
Like you are deliberately part of the event.
Like the most brutal scene in the movie for me is when like she's trying to leave the like support group, and that woman's like, "Oh, I want to talk to you," and you're kind of like, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to anybody in my car.
I'm in my car. I'm in my car for a reason.
I'm in my car. I don't want to talk to you.
But she had an agenda. We find out later.
Has an agenda
She
to
Brian.
do.
Have either of you watched Handmaid's Tale?
No, it's on my list.
Yeah,
Jake.
she's in that, Andau, and she is equally as terrifying and like kind of motherly but scary at the same time. And
Jake, you know what other show she's in? The fucking Leftovers.
Okay.
Previously discussed by.
Doesn't she also
by
play the
me
same
on
type
show.
of character?
She would be like a mentor, but at the same time, you knew she had something else going on, and she ends up being like a voice in this guy's head. And either way, she's just great in everything I've seen her in. I haven't seen her in a lot, but she's usually pretty good.
Speaking of great performances, Toni Collette is absolutely phenomenal. Hereditary, and she got
one of the
snubbed.
biggest Oscar snubs that I can remember since I've started like really following movies, which is like 10 years ago. So
Zach, I have a question for you.
I probably might have an answer.
We were thinking about talking about this last week, but we decided against it. When you saw what movie? Us. When you saw Us.
Yes.
In the trailers before the film, did you see a trailer for a film called Ma's Place?
Ma. Just
So
Ma.
we're gonna
It's just
dive
Ma?
into this now. All right.
Did you see it?
I did. I did notice the Ma
Are
trailer.
you ready for the party at Ma's house?
Well, honestly,
Folks, the entire time I was watching, I said this last week, I was like waiting for it to like pull out, and it's like South Park movie 2. Like I was expecting it to be like a parody or something. It was so fucking weird and bizarre. I'm like, what is this? What is this movie?
I can't see myself being scared of Octavia Spencer.
Well, you're not gonna like the movie.
No, I don't think I'll be seeing it.
When's it coming out?
It's a great question.
Because if it comes out before summer, we are seeing it and we're doing a podcast on it.
That's fair. So I'm gonna hope it doesn't.
Speaking of Us, I've seen it 3 times in theaters now. I saw it with my parents, and then with Ma comes out May 31st, by the way. So we will not be here.
You guys want to Skype in?
But the reason I brought up seeing Us 3 more times, also, I still really like the movie. But the 3rd time I saw it at
Spoilers
Marcus,
for Us.
No spoilers.
Okay.
At Marcus Theaters, no previews. They usually have like on the dot 20 minutes exactly previews, which is absurd amount. I don't need that much. But I got there at 6:40, and then the Universal thing goes up. I was like, this is weird. My friend turns to me and goes, I don't think we're gonna have previews. I don't think so either. Movie started. The amount of people that missed the first 10 minutes of that movie, probably so confused.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
That
really
really
weird.
does bite you.
Is there any other movie theaters that are pissing people off?
Well, now that you bring it up, Jake,
Has AMC
AMC
Mess with
Theaters, a popular chain, of
I don't know
theaters.
about this at all. I know that they couldn't get it together for like 5 hours.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. Biggest movie of all time, releases a trailer. Titanic 2 releases a trailer.
Titanic rises again.
It's not a trailer. It's a special look.
All right, a special 1 minute look at Titanic 2, also known by its working title, Avengers Endgame. Release is a special look, and it's very enticing, and they know that. They got good marketers and marketing people. I don't know if that was the right word, but they got a thing at the end that said tickets on sale now, right? Mm-hmm. So I knew that tickets were going to be on sale that day. I had looked it up well in advance. I assumed it would go on at like 8 a.m.
They announced it when the tickets were going to go on sale along with Spider-Man Far From Home. All the way back then, they were just like, oh, it's coming out now. Theaters live.
That's another discussion, Ryan. You're trying to trigger me again. But so one would watch this trailer and assume that one could go to like the most popular theater chain in the Midwest. I don't know. It might be national. Who know? I don't know how far AMC their business grasp.
It is a national chain.
I don't see Regal.
I don't know if it's the biggest.
I don't see Regal with like a subscription.
Either way,
you know what
AMC.
I mean?
I can speak for my hometown, which was St. Louis. And AMC is the biggest one in St. Louis.
I would agree.
So you would assume that they would be prepared for such an event, right? Because that's what business professionals do.
They knew when the tickets were going on
they
sale.
Knew.
It's their job to know.
That's what they get paid to do, Brian. So you'd assume they do it, right? But that's never a fair assumption sometimes. So I log in, attempting to buy 5 tickets for myself, my 2 brothers, and my 2 friends at a St. Louis AMC theater because I'm going to drive into St. Louis to watch it with my family and my friend who is also driving in because we see every MCU movie together.
Yeah, that's cute.
It is cute, Jake. I'm glad you say so. So I get put on error screen at first. Like it was loading so slow. I have my laptop, the website up on my laptop, and the app up on my phone, Brian. Both. I thought odds are they'll have one of their 2 functions working today, and that it wasn't in the cards, Brian.
Probably should have used Fandango.
Well, you see what had happened was
I went straight to Fandango. I'm like, oh, there's no problem.
Well, you see,
I didn't even buy the tickets. I'm like,
I have the AMC
later.
Stubbs account.
Yes,
you have to do it.
I'm trying to rack up the rewards.
Yeah,
because
that's
a
5
purchase
tickets.
like this is gonna rack up
so many free popcorn.
Dude, that's probably like a free movie ticket.
A bounty of awards, copious amounts of rewards, a plethora of awards, if you will, Brian. And
variety.
I'm Ryan. Brian, I called you Ryan, but Brian, I shit you not. 20 minutes. I refreshed both my app and my phone. I even restarted my computer. It doesn't make sense because I knew it was a website thing.
Grandma.
I thought maybe my computer will like boot back up and it will have figured out a solution.
Did you try unplugging the router?
If I would, if I could. I don't know where Mizzou keeps its universal router for the Tiger Wi-Fi.
Did you try opening it in a new browser?
The amount of browsers that I had, Jake, it wasn't making a difference. So what I had to do was I had to resort to the enemy, Greg Marcus. Let's talk about Greg Marcus for a second.
What a fucking guy! This man before every movie, honestly. The first movie. So in
Brian is from California, so he doesn't know.
Do you know what Wehrenberg Theaters is?
No.
Okay, so Wehrenberg Theaters was bought by Marcus Theaters.
And
so
everyone loved Wehrenberg. It was a
Wehrenberg Theaters, and then it goes Wehrenberg. It was like a big thing. Everyone loved it. Now
it's a St. Louis thing. It was personal. Yeah. Everyone they had a little history slideshow.
Like the bagels.
We're not going to talk about the bagels. A little history slideshow before every movie in a Wehrenberg theater, like from like 1899, like a little picture of like a theater they had been like. It was great. And it'll take you all the way through the 90s to now, and it's like, and it gets higher and higher, and everyone knows it, everyone loves it. Dude, apparently, I don't know if they went bankrupt or the guy who owned them just like wanted to sell. I try to believe they went bankrupt because I feel like people liked Wehrenberg, but they sold it to the Marcus family. From Wisconsin.
I originally hated and now adore.
Oh, man.
I adore the Marcus. Okay, I'm going to give my take because he might not like them. The first movie, so you had like this cool Wehrenberg opening. Now you open with Greg Marcus, this
Zach is fuming right now.
This 50-year-old white man, and he's like, it originally wasn't that cheesy. He's like, we're the Marcus family. We hope you enjoy seeing the movies at our theaters. But now...
Then he got a little too comfortable.
Now...
He started to want to take some creative risks.
Now he does things that I think he thinks are funny, but they're just so bad they're funny. And one of them will be like, I went to film school, so this is like a jump cut. And then he'll like do this cheesy cut. And what else is... And now he comes with the actual scene... For you... Because you can't see what just happened. Brian just broke his glasses in half.
No, you see, at 3 a.m. last night, I broke my glasses down the middle. And a few hours ago, I put them back together with super glue. And there seems to be a piece missing now. No, we're good. And I'll deal with that some other time.
Sometimes Greg does things with his buddy Rolando. And him and Rolando toss popcorn into each other's mouths. It's amazing.
Is this on camera?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's an intro. For any movie you can see in a Marcus theater.
You know, like AMC does not AMC. I'm trying to think of what is Regal does like the roller coaster thing.
Yeah.
So instead of the roller coaster, it's just these two people sitting in an empty movie theater,
and they got different skits. Yeah, they got some bits, Brian, but they're not the kind of lighthearted, funny bits that me and you like to bounce off each other.
Do they go longer than an SNL sketch?
No, they're only like 45 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, have you seen the opera one though, Jake?
Yes, he mouths to opera music. It's something. Go to the St. Louis area.
The cringe levels reach just astronomical levels. Astronomical.
Guys, I thought about what the thumbnail for this episode could be.
It's got to be your glasses.
It could be the glasses, but it could be our faces shopped onto the people in his bits during a bit. But whatever, we'll get there.
I think you should. Can you Photoshop your broken glasses onto his face, onto Greg Marcus's face?
Okay, keep going with Greg Marcus.
Tell me about that. Okay.
That's about all I have to say on him.
Well, like I was saying, so AMC, my pride and joy, my go-to, it wasn't working out. So I had, and it pains me to say it, I had to switch on over to the Fandango account and get a showing at a Marcus theater. So that was not what I had wanted. I kind of compared it to a line that Thanos himself says in the trailer. Jake, you might be able to help me here, because if I'm not remembering it correctly.
If I'm correct, is it Ant-Man, please don't go up my asshole?
No,
I believe it was...
That one didn't really apply to my scenario, but I'm looking forward to that one. I believe what Thanos said in the new Endgame trailer was, you could not live with your failure. And where has that brought you? Back to me. And in a way, it felt like Greg Marcus said that to me, because AMC failed me so hard, and it brought me back to him.
It looks like you missed out on like 40,000 AMC points. Zach, I'm doing the math here.
Dang. And were the AMC ones sold out by the time you... Or did you not even try?
I'm seeing panic. You guys, this was mass hysteria on the movie ticket buying web.
Okay, that's also true, and that made me angry, because everyone was freaking out, and then we had someone in our E23 chat say the tickets are sold out, and I texted my brother and was like, what's up? Like, are they actually sold out? He goes, oh, just buy them through Fandango, you're fine. And then I bought them, no problems, and my friends bought them later, no problems. And I was like, everyone seemed to be... And then again, we live in an area where it's not reserved seating, they're not super nice movie theaters, so the pressure...
You're going to have to get there early.
Oh, yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I have a seat, regardless.
But right, if you want to sit together,
oh yeah,
and you don't want to be in the front,
I'll probably end up sitting in like pairs of 2 or 3.
Honestly,
is this AMC Esquire 7?
That is what I was trying to get.
Okay,
that's my go-to.
7 p.m. showing.
Oh, guarantee they're sold out. AMC in my area, like you
can try and get a handicap spot usually.
I was thinking about it.
Then again, we are a month out, but when I tried to buy tickets for Star Wars: The Last Jedi, my time I ended up seeing it was 4 a.m. So then I just went to school immediately afterwards.
I caught a late Thursday night of Last Jedi. I got my tickets within 10 minutes of them being released to the public. So that one, AMC did their fucking job that day. It was cool. It was refreshing to see someone do what they get paid to do.
They weren't ready for that traffic.
But they just weren't ready for the record-breaking endgame.
For like 5 hours, I heard. Like, AMC was just in the trash, man.
Well, it's funny.
I did get an apology email.
Oh, wow.
Did
they give you
As a rewards member, they know I expect more. And they didn't want to lose my business, Brian, and I can respect that.
When I went to buy my tickets through Fandango, I was put in a 45-minute wait line. So they had prepared, but not in like a great way. I mean, they knew they couldn't handle it, so they put me in a separate thing.
You know what? I would have preferred that than just getting error code.
Yeah, that's super weird.
No communication.
Like, there's no real way to fix it. Like, they could rent out a bunch of server space for like that day, but to not even like do the wait line thing.
They're wasting money for one day.
Yeah,
and this probably won't happen again for the next 10 years. So.
Well, you know what? You know what is important to talk about since we're on this?
What?
I mean, I get it. I mean, like, not being ready for that because you're a business. You should be able to predict that. But the hype around this movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
guys, I don't even know if I'm gonna fucking see it.
Brian,
the hype's unreal. People are.
I pity you, Brian. I really do.
I've seen every movie, but do you know how long it took me to see Infinity War? Like
too many months.
1 week.
Brian, I saw it opening night, and I probably saw it again 2 days later, and I think I saw it again a week after that. So I saw it 3 times in theaters.
The hype is palpable, man. Like, people
I feel it, Brian. It's coursing through my veins. The energy is in the air. I walked to class this morning at 9. No one was saying anything about it, but I knew everyone was thinking it. Endgame is just going to just
I did not feel the same way.
My ASL tutor was talking about it.
Oh, yeah?
Like, they were stoked.
Maybe it's because 90% of the Snapchat group chats I'm in talk about Endgame on the regular. And it's usually a mix of Endgame and Game of Thrones, with the occasional Star Wars Episode 9 fandom thrown in, but that's a long ways off. So we don't talk about
need
it
to get
a lot.
Chat. We got time.
Like,
I'm gonna have to wait for Game of Thrones and Endgame to like post hype to wear off before I finally realize I still have one more 2019 thing to get really hype over.
And I can tell you what it is. That movie is Aladdin, the remake of Aladdin. That's what I'm getting hyped for.
Remix.
One last question. Do you think they could fuck up Endgame?
Do I?
I do not think it's possible.
I mean,
they have succeeded. What is it? 21 or 22 movies? How many?
This will be 21.
This will be 20. No, I think Captain Marvel was 21.
Oh yeah. This will be 22.
This will be 20. They have not fucked up for 21 movies. They will not goof. Not in terms of, I mean, no movie has a negative, like a below 60 on Rotten Tomatoes, and to most studios,
the lowest is like 67.
Yeah, and unlike Star Wars movie, which have changed directors and gone through a lot more production hell, this movie has not.
These Russo guys, they made Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Brian, I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Right, that is.
I saw a tweet today, and I will read it because
political thriller superhero masterpiece.
So, Winter Soldier, probably the best movie in that franchise.
It's hard to argue against that, Brian.
Yeah.
It really is. It's top 3 for me, at least.
Scott Derrickson, who edited Doctor Strange, said this. I ran into, while editing Doctor Strange at Marvel, I ran into Joe Russo outside the men's room. He pitched me the basic story for both Infinity War and Endgame. I told him that if he could make the first movie work, the second movie would be fucking incredible. And if he had the whole story planned out that long ago, and he got to use like as many, it's 3 hours long. I mean, he got as much time as he wanted. This movie's going to be great. No doubt.
You sold me. I'm just...
Because honestly, Infinity War, I mean, obviously it turned out great because everyone enjoyed it. It's a fun movie.
And the ending
they pulled it all together so well with so many different characters, and they all get enough screen time for you to be like, oh yeah, it's worth it for them to be in there. I enjoy seeing it. But that's got to be a hard movie to pitch. It really does. Like, if you pitch that idea with all these people coming together and all these different directions and so many different things happening, it's like, that probably won't work, you know? Like, that seems like a messy movie.
Yeah.
And it ended up like edited, written, directed, whatever is responsible for. It's all like the same guys almost.
It basically did it for me.
I mean, yeah, the first one honestly was the harder one to make because you had to continue the hype, build the basis for this movie, and like this second half,
much ground they have to cover.
This second half seems like the half that they like have been wanting to make almost. This is actually the thing they've been building towards. Like the last 20 minutes of Infinity War in this movie is what they've been building towards.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt that this movie will be good. Will it not meet some people's expectations? I have a feeling some people will be disappointed, and those people will be the people who have over hypothesized and have come up with like their own great idea and it doesn't live up to that. But otherwise, I think most people will love it.
You know, honestly, because I know we're probably going to talk about this more as we get closer to the release, so we should probably just tamper it down now because there's no way this is the last time Endgame gets brought up as we get closer to the release. But I envision it, now this is a bold claim, ending up at least in my top 3 superhero films of all time. The other 2, Logan and Dark Knight. And I see that.
It will guarantee be in my top 3. There's no questions asked.
If it doesn't astronomically fuck it up, and I don't know how they could, like Jake was saying.
I have one thing that they can make. Like, I need stakes, and I need something to actually happen. Like, I need results. If I need people to die, I need this to show that
would be.
I need sacrifices and stuff that matters. I can't come out of this saying, "Wow,
everything's back to normal. It didn't affect anyone."
I don't even care if back to normal is these people are like they went off in the sunset. They're not in any movies anymore. Maybe they'll make a cameo every once in a while. I can't have that.
Someone needs to die. I can do that for like either Cap or Iron Man, but one of the two have to.
Here's the thing:
probably bite the dust.
Those characters, because they don't have a replacement to me. Whatever, we cannot.
They're busting out new characters.
Bucky!
A year.
Everyone loves Bucky.
I love
Bucky. He's gonna
Bucky.
replace Chris Evans.
Honestly, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what I think they're doing. I just don't think they're ready. My prediction is Cap dies. Post-credit scene is him opening his eye.
Oh my god! People would, especially if because people are expecting probably the post-credit scene to be the whatever.
It's gonna be something. One of them's gonna be Spider-Man.
No,
post-credit scene is his claws. It's Wolverine's claws or something. Like they don't have him cast. They don't have him cast, but they're like, oh, hey guys, X-Men are coming. Please care
for how much money they make. This is the last thing I have to say because, like you said, we're gonna talk about this a lot more. All I need is they obviously know what their plan is. They've made so much money. They're not going after this with no plan. Since they know what it is, instead of waiting 2 months to at some Disney press conference tell us what the next plan is, give us a little hint. Because that will make the movie even better. Do it.
I like not knowing. I love not knowing.
I'm excited for them to just announce the next 40 movies over the course of the
next
decade.
Boy. I remember the buzz in my honors history class in high school when Phase 3 lineup was released.
I remember my mom picking me up from daycare and saying, Brian, all the Marvel movies are planned out for the next 17 years.
We were like, Doctor Strange, who's that guy? This is going to be awesome.
That's the funny thing. Yeah, my excitement for those movies honestly wasn't that great because I didn't know who half of them were. I was like, okay,
there
are fine.
Podcasts I listened to that talked about it that no longer exist. Like, that's how long ago that was. That was like...
Phase 3 has been around for a while. Yeah, Phase 3 started with Civil War, and I believe that was April or March or May of 2016. Spring 2016, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be... Phase 3 is a 3-year phase with a lot of movies in it, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think maybe they'll just remake all the phases again? That's the next thing.
Oh, dude, reboot.
Just reboot all of it. Restart.
Chris Evans snaps is like, I want everyone to come back.
What if that's the end twist?
Beginning.
The twist isn't that they go back in time to then like fix things and fight theirs. They go back in time to the very beginning and then they just re-release all the movies until we get to the end.
Goodness. We're opening up a can of worms here, guys. We don't want to delve too far into this because I have a lot to say about that theory.
It's not a real theory. I brought it up because remakes.
That's brilliant. It was brilliant.
Listeners, that was just the intro. Now we're on our set discussion topics.
That was simply the teaser.
We had to get to the best transition possible, and that was it.
Because that's what journalism is.
It's all about transitions.
Remakes, man. Like
what?
I don't watch movies, guys.
One word take. How do you feel about them?
If they have something new to do. One word take.
You're well over your
There is no one word take for remakes that I have. I mean,
that means like positive, negative, enjoy, dislike.
Cool.
Brian.
Familiar.
Oh yeah, it's one word's hard. I would say good but familiar.
All right, multiple word take coming up here. If they have something new to say, something new to do with the material, perhaps it's a movie made in 1930 something, and they want to remake it now because the technology now will allow them to do things that could not be done in the 30s, making for a more entertaining movie.
Yeah.
Prime example of this, 2006's Peter Jackson film King Kong.
I agree with
with
that.
Jack
That's
Black.
a good example.
Honestly, I don't think it's really well reviewed on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got decent enough reviews, over 60%, but
No, I think it's like an 80.
really?
I do. I'll look
Either
it
way,
up.
I love it. It's one of my favorite movies, honestly. It's a little thick, Brian. It's clocking in around the 3.5 hour mark, I believe. I mean, it's something over
That's
3 hours.
really long.
It is, Brian.
It has an 84.
But it's hard to be bored during that movie, honestly.
My only memory of that movie really is a bunch of dinosaurs were running, and I was at my friend's house, and everyone was like throwing stuffed animals around.
Right.
And someone threw a stuffed animal at another kid, and it was one of those stuffed animals that has like the giant battery pack out. And he just brained this kid, and he cried, and we stopped watching the movie.
Don't you love it when innocent childhood games turn into murder?
It didn't get killed, but it hurt. But yeah, so they remade King Kong, Skull Island.
I don't know if that.
See,
I
that
don't even
doesn't
know
really
what I
know.
count that
That's
as.
almost
like-
more of a reboot than a remake because it's not telling the same story,
I
but it's
wouldn't-
restarting the character for a new series of events.
I honestly wouldn't even call it either. I think it falls in like a weird category because I agree, like it's not a remake because it's not doing the same exact thing, but it's not really a reboot because they're not. King Kong was never a definitive series, and it didn't.
Oh, but he's part of one now.
But that's what I
Monster
mean. Like,
Universe.
he's a character that.
Brian,
they're
do
now,
you know about this?
Didn't it get canned? Oh wait,
No.
no,
No, that's the
that's the dark-
DC.
that was
That's
the-
the
that was the universe.
Universal
which honestly had
monster.
potential to be kind of cool, but it sucked. So.
Well, you see, I didn't see the Tom Cruise Mummy, and I'm a big Tom Cruise guy, but I heard it was not too.
I saw
good.
that trailer, that leaked trailer, but we'll talk. Not time for that. But you know,
I mean, this year's a big year of remakes. We got Aladdin.
Well, yeah, you got the three big Disney ones remaking animated films as live action, even though Lion King does not have a human soul in it.
not
As
a
Brian is so
single-
happy to point out, Brian is so happy
I'm
to
not
point
happy
it
to
out.
point out, Zach. I am just living in this reality where all words don't have meaning anymore. If people just look at this CG animal and they say it's real life, it's not. Okay,
Is that your random person impression?
That's my impression of you, Zach.
Oh yeah, that's me.
That's you.
No, but yeah, you know, like they keep putting these movies out, and they will forever until my death. I expect 3 more Aladdin movies before I die,
We're gonna get.
and I'm anticipating like 36. So they're really going to be pumping these things out, you know?
Yeah, probably get a remake where it's all animated, and then a remake with the new CG technology in like 10 years, and then finally one where animals have learned how to act, and we get actual real animals.
They're just biding their time until they can computer generate a new
Universe.
Robin Williams.
I'm gonna look up best remakes of all time, guys. Let's see.
Okay.
We'll get our juices flowing.
Well, I mean,
Because you know what I gotta say about remakes? If you do the exact same thing, then it's real. Why is it worth it?
Okay, I'm gonna-
Poltergeist. The Poltergeist from a few years ago.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of it. It didn't really do anything new with the.
RoboCop?
I didn't see the RoboCop remake. I
Not
heard
to
it was
ruin
entertaining,
something
but not
for
very
you,
good.
but besides the music, what did A Star Is Born do that was new?
Okay, to
It
be
was-
honest,
it
I
was
hadn't seen the
made-
originals.
Yeah, I mean, if
The new songs are fun. You put a big pop star in it, introducing it to new audiences. I mean, I see what you're saying. Counter argument to what I just said. Well done, bravo.
Here's the take.
Star is Born is great. Next topic.
here's the take, movies and remakes are kind of like if a tree falls in the woods. If a movie came out, no one gives a shit, and you just remake it, it doesn't count. You know?
Yeah.
No one remembers original Star is Born. I didn't even know it existed.
All right, here we go. Best remakes of all time. I'm gonna throw out a few that you guys might know.
Okay.
Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution looks really good.
I just don't know if it's on here, Brian. It just might not make the cut. To be honest, I'm 6 through. I don't think you guys would know any of them. I only recognize one.
Death
Is
Note.
it Total Recall?
It was Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 one. But I mean, it's one that we probably all have heard of, but I don't think any of the three of us
not
have
seen
seen it. Ocean's 11. Apparently, that's a remake. Didn't know that. I haven't seen the
it is.
original, so I can't
Again,
really
it
talk
doesn't
about
count.
that. But
It
it's a
doesn't
fun
count.
movie.
I agree with you. I think remakes from really, really old movies with the technology we have now, I think is quite awesome, and I think that should be done. But I don't think we necessarily need remakes of recent things. And I get why Disney is doing what they're doing because 1, money, and 2, there are kids that like grew up and didn't see these movies, and now they're remaking them, and they're kind of different. It's both cheap and cool. I don't know how. I'm kind of in mixed bag.
just
On,
kind
You
of
know
a
what
brain
just
drain
showed
thing.
up on this list?
What?
The Judy Garland Star is Born, which was the second
Yeah.
Star is Born.
There's been
made.
4 of them.
What?
There's been 4 of them.
Really?
They all
Yeah.
end, spoilers, with the person killing themselves, which is like, I that's when you could do something different.
I mean, I think a couple of them were accidental suicides. I think one was like a motorcycle accident when he was drunk. He was driving drunk.
Well, the same.
Not a deliberate
end.
hanging of yourself, but
They
yeah, I
all-
see what you mean.
Same end.
All right.
Like,
Ooh,
theme.
here's some remakes. Couple remakes worth mentioning in
Okay.
this topic of remakes. Remakes of foreign films as American.
Okay.
So
The
like
Office.
the two ones that
Happens
jump
a
to
lot.
my mind immediately. Let Me In, the remake of Let the Right One In. It's like a Swedish horror film. I might be getting
never
the
heard of
European
that.
country wrong. Okay, Let Me In is a really good vampire movie from like 9 years ago. That was just really dark but really cool. And then The Departed,
Okay.
which is a remake of I believe a Japanese or Korean film. Not positive which one it is. But The Departed is one of my favorite movies. The Leonardo DiCaprio, Jack Nicholson, Matt Damon, Mark Wahlberg movie.
Does The Office count as a
I
remake?
mean, that's the thing we haven't talked about. How do we feel about remakes in other mediums? Because I mean, video games have now.
Is it a remake or like a remaster?
The thing is, though, now they've been remaking them where you rebuild them from the ground up,
Yeah,
and I would
just-
call that a remake, not a rematch. I mean, Ratchet and Clank, they basically took the PS2 version and said, it's mostly going to be the same, but it's all rebuilt from the ground up.
Yeah,
Same thing
like-
with Shadow of the Colossus. Same thing with Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. Those I would call remakes, not remasters.
Reboots are pretty common too.
I mean, you got okay.
I think those
there's
are
an important distinction too, like for movies too. Reboot, remake. Like when we were saying earlier with Kong
Yeah.
Skull Island, not really a remake, more of a reboot.
Spider-Man movies, reboots.
Reboot,
If you're not taking the
yeah.
exact same thing, it's a reboot.
Exactly.
Which is, I think, video games is in the best position to do remakes because technology has moved so much in the time that video games have existed, and it makes games much like games from the past much more accessible and really does bring them to a new audience that needs them. Because I mean, you can use old movies, show them to an audience now, and it still holds up. They can watch it and be like, okay, this is still entertaining. It might not visually look as good, but video games can be hard to get or access. How do you feel about that in TV shows? You brought up The Office.
like people seem to like the British version of The Office, but does anyone watch both?
I haven't watched both. I've
know anyone
wanted
who's
to. No, I don't know anyone who's watched either one. Another show that was remade, Broadchurch, also a British show remade for America. The American version sucked. Only got one season.
Yeah.
British one got 3. A lot of British TV shows seem to be brought over to the United States.
House
But
of Cards.
yeah, a lot of they just take, I like this concept. Let's make our own show out of it.
Oh, I was about to bring up the Kevin Spacey.
Not bad.
Eh.
Oh
is-
my! Oh, I don't
Don't wanna
know.
touch that
That's
one.
from so long ago.
Does that awesome video he did? Does
that's
Joker?
Well, that
Is
House
the
of
Joker
Cards
from
film
Joker.
was dark.
I say again, that's why I don't think it falls under either category
Yeah,
because
it's just-
he's
it's
a
a
property that can
completely
be
new
used
story.
for things, and I think Spider-Man counts as a reboot because it was a trilogy, and now they're restarting it. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse isn't a reboot; they're just using the character in a different way,
Yeah,
and that's
like-
what I think the Joker counts
Perfect
as.
example of a reboot for modern audiences that you might recognize. The 2009 J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's actually
Completely new
yeah.
cast members minus an appearance by Leonard Nimoy or whatever.
Nimoy,
The original
Yeah.
Spock. But same title, Star Trek instead of Star Trek the motion picture,
Yeah.
which was like the original. Same characters, but new story, still canon because it's a new reality with time travel. We're
Yeah.
not going to dive into that right now. But I love that movie. Honestly, I love the new Star Trek movies. It kind of disappointed me that the fourth one fell through because of contract disputes.
Yeah, that got canceled, right?
As of now, it's canceled, which probably cancels the Tarantino one, which was going to be probably the fifth one.
I forgot about that.
I was excited to see what happened there.
That'd have been weird because that technically would be his last film, which would be a really weird note.
Yeah,
for
because
him
he
to
said he's
end
only
on.
making 10 movies.
He's definitely
Brian.
making more than 10. By the way,
I feel like every artist seems to
He's
say
56.
No.
No, but
And-
that's what he said though. He goes, he doesn't want to be like everyone else that overstays their welcome.
yeah, but the thing is, if this next movie is fantastic and the 10th movie is fantastic, he's not stopping.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brian,
not-
did you see the trailer for it? Was it before us for you guys?
I saw it like the day
Yes.
before us. And then
Yeah.
in the theater.
Oh man. Once upon a time in Hollywood. We'll probably set aside a later date to talk about
Yeah.
it. But whoa, that looks awesome. That looks just like really fun.
Did you guys watch the Joker 2.5 minute teaser?
Yeah,
It was a long one, and
I'm tired
a lot
of these
of
fucking
development.
teasers, man.
I agree. I was gonna make this comment earlier. Avengers stopped releasing footage. We're done. The movie comes out in 3 weeks. But Joker,
I don't know anything else. And also, I don't trust anything else that they release in trailers because they've admitted that they changed things in the trailer. So it's like I see some in the trailer, I'm like, wow, that's cool. But I mean, is it real? I'm like that Jay-Z gif where he's like vibing his head, but he's like nervous.
He looks kind of confused.
I'm like, this is cool, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
The main reason I dug the Joker trailer was because it doesn't really give anything away.
Yeah,
it's purely basically like this is the tone we're going for, and the slight version of the Joker, and that's all you're getting.
Like it basically cemented. I really liked it, but I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna see this movie. Because it just filled me with so much dread and like pain inside.
It's
like
gonna be.
It doesn't look like an easy one to watch, but in a cool way.
It's gonna be a hard movie to watch in a much different way than superhero films.
He's like drop kicked like twice in that movie just by a dude on the
street. He looks skinny. He looks like he really dedicated himself to the role.
That trailer really seemed seems like good fodder for a lot of like those gamers rise up macros. It's just like it's just Joker getting the shit kicked out of him the entire.
It's like I read this. It's a famous Batman comic called The Killing Joke. Yeah. No, have you either of you read it or heard of it? Yeah. So it's like it looks like kind of similar to that origin. Yeah. In the sense that instead of like trying to, I think he had like a wife in the comic. In this one, it looks like he has like an ailing mom. Yeah. That he has to take care of, and he's a struggling comedian.
It looks great. I'm absolutely there for it. I think he's gonna do great. The only thing that worries me is Todd Phillips. I mean, The Hangover's great, but it's not the same type of tone it looks like this is going for. And
you see, his last movie was him trying to like do a little more serious.
It wasn't that bad.
War Dogs, it was decent, I guess.
It was
not
fine.
Great. But I mean, you got Martin Scorsese producing it, which is cool.
He's producing the Joker movie?
Martin Scorsese.
Marvel's
producing it.
In this film.
I believe
Mark Maron's also in it.
Oh, really?
Zazie Beetz. The other dude from Atlanta who's not.
Ryan Tyree.
Yeah. He's also. It is a phenomenal cast. I think it's going to be good. That's my take.
And Joaquin Phoenix is just great. Have you seen The Gladiator?
I don't watch movies, so I have not seen that film.
We're going to have to set aside a day to watch The Gladiator because it'll send chills up your spine.
But he lost a lot of weight for that role, it looks like. There's that part where his shirt's off and you can see like his ribcage.
Yeah, especially he was a big dude for You Were Never Really Here. And he looks a lot less... he looks scary in a different way, but like...
Similar setup.
I like when he's larger. I don't like how Joaquin Phoenix looks with no beard. And
I feel like this movie, the Joker movie, is going to try and make you uncomfortable, and I was definitely uncomfortable seeing a grown man that skinny. If it's going to make me like kind of squirm in my seat, it's probably doing its job.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel comfortable with the character. If you're comfortable with the Joker, then it's not being done right.
I got you.
Have they said if it's in the DC Universe thing, or is it?
I think it's supposed to be not. Well, but here's the interesting thing, because there's a reboot of Batman coming up that takes place in the 90s. And it's a completely different Batman.
I'll explain the DC thing. It comes out October 4th. The DC universe is done. They've openly said that it's done. Every movie is standalone now. They're not trying to do a connected universe.
Because Justice League was not good, Brian.
We're not trying to connect these characters.
Probably the worst villain in any comic book movie I've ever seen.
It's completely done. So everything is its own movie. So like Shazam, not related to anything else. Wonder Woman 2 will not be related to anything else.
Really?
There'll be an appearance from a character, but this isn't an ultimate goal to connect them all together. Okay. It's not called they had a name for it because they did pivot. I don't know what it was called. It's not like they didn't create like a separate. It's just basically like these are all standalones basically. Okay. I don't know.
Like there's gonna be an Aquaman 2, Wonder Woman 2, Wonder Woman 1984 I think comes out next year. Even though I feel like they've been filming it for a fucking year now.
Dude, I saw trailer for that like when I was 7 or something.
Dude, I feel like we got that shot of Chris Pine like on set like 9 months ago, and this movie comes out in June of next year.
There was a trailer
there was no Wonder Woman trailer.
Yeah, there was.
There was not a new 1984 Wonder Woman trailer.
I mean, I'm glad they stopped doing this because, like, even if we're being honest with the Marvel movies, it's cool when they all come together. But there's a lot of movies where it being in one universe isn't really that integral to the plot.
Exactly. So, honestly, that's how superhero movies used to be.
I rather have very original, creative, different toned.
Because that allows directors to like flesh out their own ideas more. And obviously, it's really cool to see heroes come together in the MCU, but you can't expect to do it as well as they did it. I mean, their planning is so just detailed, in depth, and just well thought out that they're not going to fuck it up.
Yeah, like
where DC. It kind of seemed messy from you could kind of tell from the beginning they didn't know that's what they were going to do with Man of Steel and then Dawn of Justice being the follow-up.
DC seemed fucked from the jump. I remember before like Justice League came out, or maybe it was after. I read an interview with like the dude that was like doing the Flash movie,
Ezra Miller.
Yeah, no, not like the actor,
the director.
Like the director.
I heard Ezra Miller is Is he out as Flash?
I don't know.
I
That
don't know.
movie's
But basically, he was saying it's like, well, yeah, some parts of the movie are going to take place before Justice League and some after.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you guys so?
I heard like the Flash movie was gonna be like a time travel movie called Flashpoint, which is like based off of like a really famous comic, I think.
Yeah, like didn't
they
they
kind of already did in the TV show.
Didn't
but
they
it's
like
fine.
tease this in the movie? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Glad that's done.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Shazam. The trailer made it look fun, and the reviews have been really good. Brian, do you plan on seeing it?
I don't plan on most things. Like, the only reason I saw Us is for the show, honestly.
Did you enjoy it, Brian?
I loved Us.
What did you think?
Did you? Okay, well, I guess since I wasn't here last week,
Yeah.
I can finally give my thoughts on it. Jordan Peele's Us. All right. Well, I'm a big Get Out guy, so my expectations for Us were really high, especially with the reviews. And to put it simply, I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I still think Jordan Peele is a really talented writer-director, especially director in this one. There are some really tense moments that are like really well put together.
Yeah.
And I love the music in it and all of it. It's just, and obviously it's got a good, well thought out meaning under it, just like Get Out did.
Let's try to keep it spoiler free, though.
Spoiler free?
Yeah, we already went into spoiler.
Yeah, I
We
don't
can
want
just-
to taint this episode too if people are avoiding.
All right. Spoiler free. Guess all I can say is like the reasoning behind why there's a double family.
Yeah.
The more you think about it, the less it makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yep, you're right. I can't like this thing. I can't disagree with that, but the movie does so many other things right, and I will.
That's why I still like it, because it does so many other things right. I'm just never gonna put it up in that upper like echelon of like Get Out, which I thought was like a 9.5 out
It's
of
almost
10.
near perfect. Yeah.
Like perfect movie, nothing wrong with Get Out at all. I'd put Us more in the it's very good, like a 7 something out of 10 maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you stay for the post credit sequence?
Jesus, there's a post credit sequence.
Yeah, the TSA agent from Get Out comes out as
No, there's fucking not. I would have heard about
Zach.
that so fast.
I'm forming a team.
I'm forming a team. Oh, I love Winston Duke though. That is also another thing. Lupita was amazing in the central role.
Phenomenal.
I'm already calling that Oscar snub, just like Toni
Oh,
Collette.
she wouldn't like get nominated.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, because she's in a horror film, and like the old people can't see those movies, which is the old people make up the Academy because of their hearts. They can't take it.
It's not like they don't try. Like,
only
we lose several
Well,
Oscars judges
my
every
only
year.
thing is they must not have seen Hereditary,
No,
or
they
else
did
she would have been
The
nominated.
only reason Lupita has a better chance than Tony is everyone loves Jordan Peele to death.
Yeah.
So
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Do people really love him as much as
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I heard the
people-
Twilight Zone, which is he like hosted and wrote and produced or whatever. It just came out on like CBS All Access, and that's getting really good reviews too.
Yeah, but like basically like he did the sketch show, and then he did Get Out, and then like before Us came out, it's like doesn't matter how good this movie is, everyone's gonna like fucking love it because they love Jordan Peele. I'm like, he's done one thing that people really care about. Like I don't know where like the idea that Jordan Peele
Started to make a name for himself. He's married to Chelsea Peretti of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
is he actually?
He is.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
like he did like one thing that
You're
people
right.
really cared about. Like I don't get
You're
where
right.
this like
but I think it's
this
just,
narrative that he's this untouchable
it's such
figure.
a mesmerizing debut in
Yeah.
terms of like you come from this comedy sketch show, which yes, occasionally had like interesting commentary, but it was mostly just for laughs. And to come out and do this, which did so many good things at once, and then to come out with another movie that was also pretty damn good.
Yeah.
It makes me excited for them. I mean, put it this way: I'm still amped for anything Jordan Peele puts his name on, especially Toy Story 4.
He's also
starring Jordan Peele.
He's also like, I think his name is so big because he has raised black cinema to a whole new bar.
Yeah.
Like seeing like the year, I think it was the year before Get Out. Was it that was the year that the Academy was under hot water for not
Like
nominating?
Oscar So White thing. Yeah. Was that the year Moonlight won, or that was the year?
Then it
after?
would have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, because Moonlight won the year after that.
Yeah, but still, like I think that's why his name is held in such high regard.
I mean, this is a sidetrack, but Moonlight was damn good. I like La La Land a lot too, though. I kind of wish that won. But
Speaking of a name held in such high regard, damn it, I forgot his name. Who's the dude in Gearbox?
Randy Pitchford. let's not get into the unpleasantries with all that lawsuit stuff. But let me get into the unpleasantries of that whole keynote. Borderlands 3, people have been waiting 5 years. I played Borderlands 2 for like 90 hours with 2 friends a lot. I'm no longer really waiting for Borderlands 3. It just kind of looks like Borderlands 2. I don't need it in my life.
Which looked like Borderlands 1.
No, Borderlands 2 is hugely not a huge leap.
Yeah, it was a nice little jump.
Yeah, they added the terrible character of Tiny Tina and Handsome Jack, who just drove me insane. But so this press conference, I don't know if this was originally part of the plan because they seem to be having some TA issues, like some production issues.
Let's put in let me
Yeah,
paint a picture for
fill
how
me in
bad.
here, guys, because
Okay,
I
you're right,
know
I'm sorry.
virtually
Since
nothing.
he brought up the technical issues, well, so basically everyone knew we're going to announce our new game, which is Borderlands 3.
Borderlands 3.
This is an
so long.
hour-long press conference to show what ended up being like a 4-minute video for this game.
Well, they were doing all kinds of stuff. Like they showed, like, oh, we're publishing Risk of Rain 2. But like
again, a bunch of games that didn't matter.
we're adding like
Well, I get it. From a business standpoint, I get it. You know that people are going to tune into this press conference because you're announcing a big game. Might as
They
well plug
needed
your
to
smaller
fill time.
ones.
They're like, oh, we're adding like patches to the games.
Oh, we're getting
but
to filling
basically,
time.
every video they showed, they were trying to run like 4K uncompressed video through like Windows Media Player.
Mm-hmm.
So it was running at like half frame rate. So these videos looked really fucked up.
They looked like you were running, but like the wind kept stopping you.
Don't you hate that? When
So
that happens?
there was that, and then they tried the video, it didn't work.
But like this was happening for an hour.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get it to get. They showed the trailer that mattered at the end.
But it was all laggy.
Okay, no, first 30 minutes of this are actually him doing magic tricks.
He does
So just
magic
picture
tricks for
that.
30 minutes.
He loves magic.
And sorry, we said that wrong. He does one magic trick
For 30
minutes. Yeah, it's not
like
magic
that kid
tricks.
from us.
No.
Not quite.
Not quite.
He wasn't failing the entire time.
It was really hard
Kinda
to watch.
bullshit.
It was like I had it open in another window, but like, so he does that for 20 minutes. Then he gets like the videos, and it's like, oh, this looks like shit. But then like they get to Borderlands 3, it's still not fixed.
No. The thing,
Like-
so there were two issues. Borderlands 3 was the video was lagging, but then the other video would not work. They started it and it
right.
would freeze 4 seconds
was the
into
first
it.
one.
They tried it and they'd be like, "You guys want us to try again?" They'd be like, "Yeah," and they did that. Best part was the Borderlands 3 one was laggy. Then it's a 5-minute video. We've already been sitting here for an hour and 5 minutes, Zach. I don't want to be here any longer. He goes, "I think we fixed it. Do you want to watch it again?"
Doesn't work. The crowd started shouting, use VLC. Like, use this other thing. And, like, I felt bad for him. And,
I did. I genuinely felt bad. I was like, this is hard. This is why people don't do live conferences
and then
anymore.
he's like, oh, we're using Pax's equipment. We should have gotten our own people. Then people booed him. Like,
Yeah,
fuck
he-
you, dude.
he blamed
Like,
the-
he
yeah.
blamed the venue. He shit on his host. And,
It was rough. It was hard to watch.
It was
And
brutal.
the game
Honestly,
looks
like-
fine.
The,
Not that great.
the only video game guys that I'm really amped for. I mean, you guys wake me up out of my video game hibernation when Last of Us 2
Yeah.
hits the stores.
You got like a
I'll
year.
talk about you guys. I'll talk about Last of Us 2. We're gonna do a whole season of content cube.
You're missing
about
out.
Last of Us 2.
You're missing out a lot of video games.
have-
I
Have
know.
you
I gotta get better. There are so many video games that I want
you
to play,
played
guys. I played the Uncharted
played
series.
Horizon?
Horizon Zero Dawn. My brothers played it. They said it was pretty sick.
I don't get
need
it,
to play
man. Like,
that.
you have a PS4 and a Switch in your room.
Dude,
You're like,
I
oh,
need
I
to
don't
play it.
know.
I know. I just never get around to
Zero
it.
Dawn is the closest
I
thing you're going to
spent
get
so
to
much
those
money on a
games.
Switch and I never played.
Like, I played Smash in your room for a little bit. We
and
played
that was like
together.
the first time. That's the first and only time I played it this semester.
No, he had like 7 characters unlocked. I'm like, you haven't
I got it for Christmas and I probably spent a total of 3 hours.
You played like 3 matches.
LOL.
Because like I bought it with the purpose of playing with my friends at my house and college next year, so I'm sure I'll like get a lot more use of it next year when I can just be like,
Yeah.
hey guys, trying to brawl up, bro, you know,
Yeah.
like just really just
Yeah.
like, it'll be right there for me.
Yeah.
Mario Kart's a game I don't like playing by myself. You know, I've already played Mario Kart by myself a million times. I know I can beat the computer. This is not fun anymore. I want to beat my friends and see their look of defeat when I beat them, you know?
Yeah.
I want to see them see my shy guy do his little dance when I cross the finish line.
Yeah, like, I get
That's
that.
right. I play a shy guy. That's what I want to know when I meet someone new. Who is your go-to Mario Kart character? Brian, go.
Metal Mario.
Oh my god. See, so many things I know about Brian now. I can make so many assumptions not only on his character, but his future as a person. Jake, you go.
Donkey Kong.
See? Now, I like that.
Zach, it's not that you don't really play these games. It's that you have this attitude like, yo, video games, fucking whatever. Who can say? And you've spent like upwards of $700.
Bro, I don't have a video game fucking whatever attitude.
No, you're like, wake me up from my hibernation when the
Well,
good shit
I'll
comes
give
out.
Zach this. Zach doesn't have time to play video games when you rewatch the whole MCU and Game of Thrones.
Yo, I just rewatched Game of Thrones in 2.5 weeks. What I lack
I'm watching it for
in
the
video
first
games,
time
I
in-
make up for in show binging, Brian.
I'm watching it for the first time and still haven't finished.
Bro,
yeah, but
I've
you paid
watched it like
attention.
5 times.
Yeah, it's true. I am paying attention when I
Bro,
watch it.
I've paid attention.
Yeah,
so
but
many
it's like
times.
hardwired. I bet there's some parts where like you literally like mouth the lines along.
Oh, without question. There are certain episodes I've seen so much that I could probably recite the whole thing.
I bet
to
you're
you.
sitting there like, man, can't wait for.
Did you
episode
wait a minute?
4.
Did you just say that you're not finished yet? You're still not all the
No,
way
I'm
caught
not
up?
done yet.
Oh,
I'm on
man.
episode 8 of season 6.
When's next season coming?
You are literally close to the Battle of the Bastards, dude.
I know.
That is an episode I can do line for line.
No,
bro.
but Zach, I bet you're sitting there like, man, can't wait for season 5, episode 12 for that great scene. You know, like,
dude, if only season 5, episode 12 existed, you know? It's only 10 episode seasons, you noob. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah,
I know
like,
my nerd shit, just different nerd shit than you guys.
All right, Billie Eilish put out a new album. I listened to some of it and I said, this is
probably
this is
not
weird.
Okay, so music to me is the most subjective piece of art in terms of like.
I'd say actual art, like paintings.
Okay, fuck that.
I'll
be honest.
Hold on. Quick take. What is your guys' opinion of like music reviews, not as like a critique, but as like, should you buy this? Because I think it's one of the most useless fucking like.
No, that's what I mean. Like music.
I think you got to find a reviewer that you kind of realize that your opinions align with theirs a lot, and you kind of take it to heart.
No, but like I totally love like music reviews. It's like, oh, like this is a critique. Like this is like,
but I get what
this
you
is
mean.
meaningful. But like when it's like, oh yeah, you should drop the $10
Yeah,
on this one.
no.
Like, you can. The music's
No
out
one
there.
buys
Yeah.
music.
It's
anymore.
out
I
there.
buy music when I really have to like it to buy it on vinyl. Because
Yeah,
I'll never buy a
I've-
CD again in my life, but I have
Yeah.
I have a record player, and I'll get a vinyl collection going because it's cool for the experience, and it's got a little more unique sound, and it's cool to like just put a record on and like see it turn, and you just chillax, you know. It's cool, but I'm never gonna like buy on iTunes or
I feel like movies you can go to, and whether honestly they're good or bad, you can at least somewhat enjoy what you're doing. And then like there's more people who care about movies, and then obviously the critique gets higher. But music is very much like whether you're a big fan of music or not, like you can listen to it and just definitively say, I enjoy this, I don't enjoy this, just based on the sound, which I surprisingly dug the Billie Eilish. I didn't want to because the aesthetic and fan group and everything that is associated with her is not something I want to be associated with. She attracts other edgy 16 and 17-year-old girls. Continue. You go. You can say what you say because she was saying edgy.
Aside, I saw a tweet. I don't know how. You know, I'm thinking I might cut this part.
That's fine.
I
Go
saw
for
a
it.
tweet, and it was just Billie Eilish turns 18 this year. Smiley face. Like blocked.
Too much.
Blocked in this one, Chief. But yeah, it's
Resume.
Yeah.
It's the production is extremely bass heavy, which I
very bass heavy,
absolutely love.
Especially the song Xannies. It like kills my car.
The bad guy. When I was playing in my car, I was like, I have a small Nissan Cube, so if it's windy outside, the car already shakes. But the bass literally was shaking the car. I was like, this is her breathy vocals. That's the number one thing when I
feel
listen
like
to
she's
music.
whispering every line, and I love it.
The number one thing when I listen to music is, do the vocals impress me in some way, shape, or form? And hers are like this perfect. They're like, her range isn't that impressive, but she like whispers it, but it's not like, oh, this is weird and boring. It's like, oh, this like brings me in. I want to listen to this. What is she?
It's intimate, Brian. It's an intimate listening experience because you feel like you do have to lean in to
it's
hear it,
not,
even though that doesn't make sense.
But it's not intimate in the like, Billie Eilish is trying to fuck every listener.
There's nothing sexual about Billie Eilish music.
The bad guy song, she's talking about fucking people's dads. But
she uses the word seduce, Brian.
Yeah.
Don't.
But
Why are you? I'm not. Weird. I listened to part of this album.
I
liked it.
Yeah, she's. I like her lyrical writing isn't.
It's her and her brother.
Amazing. Yeah, that's the other thing that's amazing. Her and her brother write and produce together. That's it.
Jake, how can you tell me that this is not sexual when you messaged me, yo, this Billie Eilish album fucks? And then you went in the E23 group chat and said, hey, what do you guys think of the Billie Eilish album? I think it fucks.
So if there is any conclusion that one could make after the Billie Eilish album is Eilish, I don't know how to pronounce it. If there's one conclusion you can make after When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go, whatever the album's called, it's that Jake thought it fucks.
Yeah. Okay,
that was made clear to virtually everyone.
I have a lot of thoughts about this, and I want to get what I think the album does so well is establishes a lot of albums establish an aesthetic or mood, and that's really baseline all you get. Like, if I'm in this mood, this will deliver. But this album does that, but it also adds on lyrics that are 70% of the time pretty good. Production is...
They're thought-provoking.
Yes.
They're interesting. They're unique.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yes. They're not lyrics you'd expect to hear from anyone else.
Who's 17. And that's okay. Well,
I forgot. I always forget that she's 17. She doesn't seem like she's 17. Like, and I don't mean that in a weird way. I just mean like you sound older.
Yeah. Production-wise, it's pretty... I mean, it kind of takes similar vein from Lana Del Rey or Lorde, and then it's like minimalist, kind of R&B, trap. But like, the fact that it's just her and her brother, they didn't take other big pop producers. It's not 4 or 5 people. It's one person is really cool. And the album transitions perfectly from like, I don't want to call it hard because that's not what it is, but it's like more aggressive. And then it slowly as the album goes on, like tones
vulnerable.
Down.
Very vulnerable album at the end. The last 2 to 3 songs.
My favorite songs are, because I want to make sure I get them all. I like every song, but my favorite songs are Bad Guy, All the Good Girls Go to Hell, Wish You Were Gay, and Listen Before I Go. Listen Before I Go is extremely depressing. It's her, and it starts with her like, I'm up on this building because I want to jump off to see the view, and then it's her what
does she say? It's pretty much like her saying, it's like, it felt like, okay, so a lot of like suicide notes or whatever say like, sorry, right? Like, I'm so sorry. I feel like this one, like if I'm remembering it right, maybe I'm wrong. It's like where she's like, like, I'll miss my friends, but I'm not sorry.
Sorry can't save me, sorry can't save me now. Sorry I don't know how. Sorry there's no way out but down. And this is while she's standing on the top of a building. Yeah, and she's like, if you need me, you want to see me, you better hurry because I'm leaving soon. I don't know. It's very, the album is kind of minimalist, but it works to its advantage. Yes, she's got
a tarantula crawling out of her mouth on like You Should See Me in a Crown Spotify thing.
That's another
And I think that's one of the things where I was like, oh, that is crazy. I think I love you.
I hate those Spotify video things.
Oh, they endear themselves.
Zach, do you feel comfortable with this thumbnail? The tarantula crawling out of her mouth, your head on the tarantula.
Ryan,
I would going to be every one of our thumbnails now is one of our faces.
Honestly, that would become my instant phone background if you made that. I mean, look at this one. I mean, look, that's this thing playing during Goodbye on Spotify is like a moving animation of like a sharp teeth demon that kind of resembles her.
Yeah, but I love it. I think it's great.
I love the weirdness. I love the darkness. I love the cover. I love Bury a Friend, which is probably the darkest song on the album. Honestly, I love my favorites are Bad Guy, You Should See Me in a Crown. I knew before the album.
Bass hits on Bad Guy immediately, right away.
And then like the last 40 seconds of Bad Guy. Oh my goodness, good. Brian. Oh, and then Wish You Were Gay is just a really good just pop song. Not like traditional radio pop, but it's really good. And When the Party's Over is just chilling. I mean,
it's good. It's a good album.
Very good. Our good friend from E23, Kelsey, did a rendition of it on her YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's very good.
What's the YouTube channel called?
See,
I think it's just, I look up her name.
I mean,
and
Kelsey, how do you say her last name? Southard?
Yeah, I think so.
Southard, I think.
You look that up. Jake, how would you rate this album on a scale of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, whatever you're comfortable with?
How many tarantulas out of 10 would you give it?
I would give it... Right now, I would give it 8 tarantulas out of 10.
Yeah.
It's a fair one.
How I listen to music is the first listen has to grab me a lot, and then basically I just kill the album, which means it's all I listen to, and it's all I've been listening to since it came out. And like the more you listen to something, the more you realize its faults. And like I said, some of the lyrical writing isn't the best. Some songs are a little weak, but overall, for being 17, for this being it's not technically her debut, but it's her first like long debut album. It's
LP.
Yeah, it's good. It's impressive. It managed to kind of be mainstream and be pop, but also do something new. So 8 tarantulas out of 10. What about you, Zach?
Oh, honestly, I mean, I would give it 8 tarantulas out of 10 as well. I hate to make it a redundant score here, Brian, but I couldn't agree more with what Jake said. Everything that Jake said.
It takes a lot for me to give something a 9. Every song has to be great.
People tend to overhype things right when they come out because they're so excited about something new that's good. But as time passes, you realize, maybe it's not like spectacular, but it's definitely very solid. And that's kind of where I'm at with the album. I think it's It's unique, and I love it because it is unique. It's not like something else I've heard before. I mean, besides like her previous EP, which I also enjoy. Like, I don't know if you listen to it. Honestly, you should. It's got a song on it called Ocean Eyes, which is probably her best song. Famous. That song is incredible.
It's funny this year, her, and then I also got into Ariana Grande's album, 2 albums that I expected to dislike and be like, ew, mainstream. But I dug both of them. They're both great.
Did you find the channel?
Yeah, it's just Kelsey Southard, Southard, and Kelsey is Kelsi.
There you go.
So you have
our friend.
Right, yeah, she's got some good covers on there. I think I listened to all 5 of them. So,
you guys ready to roll into the final segment? Or?
Yeah, let's do it.
What do we have chalked up for that? I don't even remember.
New segment. We started off with the name thing, and then we gave it a name. So that one's done. So I've been working. I've been working in the lab, trying to construct a final segment ever since. And I've landed on just, like pitch 1 or 2 things that you've enjoyed. And
recommend. What's a fun name for this? I listen to a podcast as the Recommendation Station.
The Recommendation Rectangle.
Again with the shapes.
The Recommendation Room. The Rec Room-mendation. I don't know. That was stupid.
We'll work on the brand.
The Recommendation Room.
The Recommendation Room.
Or we can come up with a different... What's a different word than recommendation? Is there... Let's look up... You guys, one of you do yours, and I'll look up.
See, honestly, I forgot we were doing this, so I didn't think of one. So you guys I'm gonna go last, and I'm gonna.
All right, I'll start.
I think real. Oh, I got mine. Oh yeah, I definitely got mine.
Okay.
Yeah? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Go for it, Zach.
So she's famous, but like you guys will recognize her name, but she is definitely not like mainstream famous because she's not like one part of the big pop scene. But Jesus Christ, Janelle Monáe is so good.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, her newest album is her most popular one, Dirty Computer. Oh man, that's Make Me Feel. That was Jake's rendition of Make Me Feel, and that's just a great song. But that's her album that made her super famous the past year or whatever. Not super famous, but like more famous than her recent ones or the ones before that. And that's more like accessible music, but still unique in its own way. It's called Dirty Computer, and it's
honestly, I would say
it's all like technology themed, but still
it might be less accessible than the album before that.
Electric Lady.
Yeah.
Honestly, Electric Lady is probably... She's got 3 albums and an EP. Electric Lady is
probably... All robot-themed.
Yeah, all robot-themed, but like her first 2 albums and an EP are all part of like her Metropolis story, which is like one long story. And the album, I think it came out in 2010, called Arch Android, is just so incredible, Brian. There's so many styles on it. Like, there are songs that sound like Simon and Garfunkel, songs that sound like Outkast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all there. And it's honestly just the concept is present throughout, and it'll blow your mind of like her as like a guitarist, a singer, like as a performer, songwriter. She's
great.
Honestly, really good. And she's a great actress too. She's in Moonlight and Hidden Figures. But yeah, her most recent album, Dirty Computer, is great. Arch Android is great. And then her other couple releases are worth checking out as well. So that's my official pitch.
She also might be like an actual robot because she looks perfect. Like,
it's hard to imagine any flaws she has.
She looks like she has no flaws.
She is pretty flawless. She's dating Tessa Thompson, I think. Tessa Thompson from Thor Ragnarok, Brian. She played Valkyrie.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Now you got it?
Yeah.
They're in a lot of her music videos, and her music videos are very sexually charged.
The Make Me Feel music video, Jake.
Did it make you feel?
I don't want to answer that, but it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Jake, what's yours?
I have a suggestion for the name. Can we call it the Suggestion Seduction Circle?
No. I'm gonna say no.
Well, yes, you can.
The source options. Is that what you said?
I think endorsement and suggestion are other best words for recommendation. So
we'll get there next week.
Okay, we can come up with it in a week. My suggestion would be I've been playing Cuphead. Yeah. I bought it on my Mac. It came on a Mac in the fall, and I didn't have much time. But over spring break, I was playing a lot of it, and the game's coming up on Switch very soon. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm suggesting it now. That game is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. It's so hard, but I enjoy being beat down because that feeling of winning is so great. I sat for an hour and a half while my friend just watched me. And we just he was yelling out when enemies were coming near me so I could avoid them. And the art is completely unique. No other game does anything like it. The music is absolutely phenomenal. Also very unique. It's basically just a game with a bunch of bosses, and it's creative. It's cool. I only have 2 bosses left, and I highly recommend. Yeah, I got King Dice and the Devil, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, Fuck Dr. Call's Robot. Holy shit. I played that for 3.5 hours and just died over and over. It was horrible.
My quick one, Risk of Rain 2. I find it's a roguelike. I find it really interesting. I really liked the first one. But the first one was like a side-scrolling roguelike.
Yeah, this one looks...
And this one's like it's a third-person behind-the-back shooter. And they pull it off really, really well. Great game. I've been playing with my girlfriend.
Oh, wait, it's already out?
Yeah, it's in early access on Steam. I'm sure it'll be on everything else at some point. And my big pitch is Mob Psycho Season 2 is wrapped up, folks. I don't say this... this is probably the first time I've said this about anything, unironically. Instant classic thing. I think this is going to be a show that people look at in 20 years or 15 years, and they'll be like, oh man, this show was really...
Wow.
It's like, the main character is fantastic. He goes through some really good growth. It's about, like, connecting with people when, like, you are not impressed with what you can do, I guess. It's a really good show. It has really good fight scenes. It's about some kid. Really funny. It's probably the best anime I don't watch a ton of anime. It's probably the best anime I've seen in, like, past several years. And now... to get into the secret segment I haven't told you guys about. This is where I take the show in a new direction.
Okay.
I figured, I don't think they'll let me start an RSS feed yet. Don't think I can set up an inbox to get emails.
Oh.
We YouTubers now, folks. Sound off in the comments below. Do you guys have any recommendations for that last segment? What's it going to be called? Do you guys like anything? Let us know. Your opinion.
What are our flaws?
Yeah, tell me.
Let's get some constructive criticism. Let's even get some deconstructive criticism. Don't be afraid to get harsh.
Maybe not this episode, though. Don't really have it in me this week.
Maybe 10 episodes.
If you recall how this episode started, Brian wants to die. If Brian had his way, there would be no more Content Cube because he'd be dead.
This thing's keeping me going. My glasses broke today. I'm like, that sucks. Fixed them. Broke them again during the show. I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. I feel like we're probably being held back by being on a channel that has so much other content unlike ours. I'm not sure how it works. Maybe drop a like.
There is no content like ours.
There's no content.
That's true.
Drop a like. I think that helps the algorithm with discoverability. Dislike it if you hate it. I don't know. Comment like, are you my mom? Say, I love you, Brian. I think that boosts some amount of visibility.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you want, but again, a lot of the content on E23, not really like ours. Not sure how useful that subscribe is going to be to you.
Hey, tag a friend.
Tag a friend. Tag a friend, folks. Send this to someone and say, hey, I found this video of a guy I know that's in it, and you don't know who he is, but you could be the first person to listen to this that doesn't know who any of these people are.
Perhaps your grandfather passed away recently, and your widowed grandma is looking for something to fill the time.
Yeah.
The Content Cube is built for that. We fill time.
Tweet at me, at Brian of the Woods. Tweet at Jake. Jake,
tweet at me at jmosh_17, JMOSH_17.
You'll find no underscores in my name, just good old-fashioned letters and one number. Zack Hohenstein 1. And Zack is still ZACKHOHENSTEIN, and then the number 1.
Tweet at MUTV 23, right?
Yeah.
On Twitter and say this show's really good. Create a new executive position just for Brian for it.
Wow. We got topical.
Bold take.
I'll see you next week. I'm going to go slam my head into a door frame. Jake, how's your day going?
Cube out.
Yeah, that'll do it.